evaluation of Jordan Nolan's performance yesterday?
He gave his fourth line, gave us a little bit of juice. Just wanted to get that. It's not confidence, but he just got to the point where he was turning too many pucks over on the boards, coming out of his own zone, and then it affected his play and the lack of time spent in the offensive zone. So just kind of go game to game with him. And we need 2 or 3 more minutes out of the line. I don't like splitting them up. And he's basically he's got to play the right wing. He's not as good on the left side. So we need 2 or 3 more. And it doesn't sound like much, but in the course of the game, it's like 4 shifts. If you look at last night, and that's the schedule. It is the schedule and how much top guys play. Right? And you're trying to. If you look at Kopitar's line last night, they probably play 2 or 3 minutes too much. And that's not because they were doing anything great as a line. They've had a hard time lately, but that's partly my fault because they've played them more than they should, and that trickles down to the guys below them. So it's not so much Jordan; it's just the group, how it spreads out.
Jordan's confidence. Have you talked to him? Have you had some discussions?
I talked to him once.
Yeah, and
it's very simple. You want to stay in the lineup, you got to play to your ability, right? He's a big guy. He's got to play physical and go to the net, but you have to also. I'm not one of the coaches that just says a guy who plays 3 or 4 minutes for one reason. The game's gotten past that, so you got to be able to contribute in all areas of the game, and it's really. He hasn't played as well at any point this year as he did at any point last year.
Going back to what you said a second ago about the Kopitar line struggling you've seen it the last 2 games or the last 3? Or?
You know what, it's not, say tell the guys it's got nothing to do with work or compete or effort. It's just that once in a while they get out of sync a little bit, and if one of them is just off a little, then it affects the other guys, and that's what happens with high-end guys. Willie has struggled to score this year, so he's a guy that's always at a high pace, high effort. Right? And he's always trying to do everything he can, but sometimes it's better for Willie just to not do too much, just do a little bit less. And Brownie will get like that too, where he loses his identity once in a while, and you got to reinforce that one. Or Kopi is, because he's a special guy, he's trying to win it. Right? Instead of just be Kopi. So you just gotta find your way with them, and they always come back to it. So my only thing as a coach, you never want to split them up. If you guys split them up, that means one of them is dragging it off, or they just need a little. Sometimes 2 or 3 shifts is being away for a while. They're the first guys in, they're in here this morning, we're going to watch, and I asked them last night, come and watch their shifts, right? Mm-hmm. As a line, and they do that, right? Because they want to be good, and they want to be better, and they want to see themselves, a lot of times it's better than just them seeing it than somebody else telling them.
How would you assess Jonathan Quick's play, say, over the last week or so?
He's been solid. That's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to get guys to be consistent and solid, right? Don't worry about end results. Don't worry about wins, losses, any of that stuff. Take care of itself. Sometimes you play great and lose. Sometimes you play average and win. That's the way the league is, but that's the way sports is. But just be consistent. And when you're not getting the practice time that you need, then you have to be able to manage that. You have to be able to manage your preparation, your focus, what your responsibility is. And that's what I want him to do. If he does that, he isn't. Then his compete will allow him to, because he's a competitor, right? But it doesn't do any good to be all over the map. So you gotta just be really tight in what you see yourself and focus, and then he's fine.
Is it harder to turn the page after a game like last night when you win every battle other than the scoring battle?
No. Actually, we didn't.
Out-hit them, outshot them, face-offs.
They had 8-3 on twos against us. I would say that was something that's usually we're one a month in that area. They had 8 after the 10-minute mark last night. So it's just we were pushed a little bit too much to, we've sort of had a easy scoring time of it for 2 or 3 weeks, right? Where we're getting everything you want. And last night we weren't. We started to just play on the wrong side of it a little bit. Those are sort of your internal battles. You start playing on the wrong side of the puck. Then you got to deal with guys that have way too much open ice. And looked at 2 guys that scored for Yager and Whitten, too much open ice. And against top players, sorry.
I think some of that comes, Darryl, that you look at a team, they come in the night before, they were late, and every team goes through it, but you feel that if you can maybe score early, that you can maybe put them down and out early, and you maybe...
Yeah, you know what, we were really good at it, quite honest. But once you get, as the game goes on, as you see it, it's going to be the first goal. First goal is going to be the difference. You just know that, because both goalies are playing really well, and even though one team's out shooting the other one, they're both on, right? And it's going to take hey, you look at the goal they scored, it went off Drew. You know what?
It ended up in the corner.
Shot, so that's, and then we start pushing a little, and Robbie pinches down, which is not what we want him to do there, but you got to take a little bit more of and he gets caught, and then it becomes a chase play again.